So let's start this presentation with a bit of background. First, let me ask a simple question. If you were to shop for something and you see two versions of that thing, one having an expiry date of few days and other having expiry date of few weeks, which one will you get if both cost exactly the same? Well, I think the answer is obvious, the one with more time left to expire. But what if you were told that the one which is few days left is quite a bit cheaper than the other one? Well, then you will think whether you would be able to use that thing in a few days or not. And if you could use it within few days, then you would most probably pick the cheaper one. The same is the case for many people. According to a research, people are 30 to 40% more likely to get the product which is lower expiry left if they get it for cheap compared to the other one having the higher lifetime, because more often than not things get used before they expire. The major factor of waste for supermarkets today is the expired products, since they simply cannot be sold once they are really close to expiry date or are expired, and therefore are thrown away. In USA alone, 40% of the total food waste is caused by the supermarkets, with annual loss of $57 billion. And that is only one category of products in one country. We are not taking into account the other categories of products and in other countries of the world. And that total waste across the world is contributing to the climate change in a very bad way. Reducing the prices would also mean that those who are living on pay-to-pay basis can afford a little more for their money. This dynamic pricing strategy is being used by online retailers, airplane tickets, Uber fares, and much more. So why not implement it to the physical supermarkets? Well, so far we have talked about making things cheaper as the time passes, but there's another factor which plays a big role, and that is demand. See, the purpose of our project is not only to reduce waste by selling products at cheaper rates, but also to maximize profit margin for the supermarkets. Well, sure, one way of doing that is to sell as much as possible, but the other factor is selling for a price that maximizes the profit for a particular product at the time of sale. And for doing that, we have to take into account the demand factor. What if a product is highly popular and is selling very quickly? What should be done then? Well, the answer is simple: surge pricing, as we have seen Uber and other ride-hailing services do. When there is high demand for a ride and there are less number of drivers available, Uber increases the cost of the ride ever so slightly. We are applying the same concept here with demand. When there is a huge demand for a product, its price will increase bit by bit depending on the real-time demand of the product. So with demand and expiry date, we can judge in real time the perfect price for a particular product, which minimizes the waste and maximizes the profit for the supermarket. This way we can give people more choice, supermarkets more profit, and keep our planet clean. Now we will move on to the problem statement. Well, with the earlier explanation that I gave, the problem statement must be clear by now. We are basically targeting the issue of waste caused by the supermarkets due to the expired goods and the climate and monetary loss that comes with that waste. Now let's talk about problem solution. How exactly did we solve the problem? We made a dynamic pricing engine using a branch of machine learning called reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning basically learns by trial and error. It takes an action and based on that, it gets a certain reward, and it learns the ways which maximizes the reward. Our algorithm is capable of dynamically changing prices for a single product up to 1 million times. It takes into account 100 demand points and 10,000 time points of each product. It uses Q-learning technique to generate the prices. And we have made a web application for stores to display the prices along with any other necessary information about the products. Now let's talk about the major benefits. First of all, it reduces the waste, which is better for the environment. Second, it keeps things fresh as the older things are sold quicker, and it also increases the profit for the store. Our target customers are supermarkets, superstores, grocery stores, pharmacy stores, basically any store that sells any type of product can use this system. Tools and technologies. For algorithm, we use Python as a programming language, Q-learning technique of the reinforcement learning, NumPy library, and Google Colab to train our algorithm. For web app, we use Flask micro framework. For web application, it is a framework written in Python. We use SQL Alchemy library of Python to connect with our database. We use HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, MySQL as a database, and some other tools such as Visual Studio Code, XAMPP, and SQL. Now let's move on to the live demo. First of all, this is the home page, and the input field you are seeing is going to take the product ID as an input. Now it can take the input in number of ways, through QR code reader or barcode reader, or simply by our keyboard. For the demonstration purposes, we are going to use our keyboard. So after entering the product ID, we will see that it is going to load the product ID, product detail page. Now in this product detail page, we have number of information about the product, like the brand, the product details, a hand wash 250 ml. We have quantity, we have manufacturing, we have manufacturing and expiry date, we have time left to expire, retail price, current dynamic price, and the discount. Now this current dynamic price is generated through our AI algorithm. Now going back to the home screen, we have another section of the home screen known as shelves. Now this is all the shelves that are in the supermarket. Now we can click on any shelf and it will show us each and every detail about the different products. Here we can see that there are few items listed, and you can, if you carefully see, there is this time which is updating. Now this page is auto refreshing. We have set the time interval very small for this demonstration purposes, so it is refreshing after every few seconds, and you can see that as the time is passing, the time left to expire is decreasing, and so is the price of that product. This just price change for this product, and you can see that there are prices which are dynamically changing based on the time left to expire. Now let me run the sales simulator, and what it is going to do, it is going to decrease the quantities of the each product, and then we will see how the price is going to slowly increase for the each product. Now you can see that algorithm thinks that products are being sold very quickly, so it is increasing the price a little bit after every few items sold. So in this way, our algorithm is going to work. It is going to increase the price when it detects that there is enough demand within a certain time period, and it will decrease the price if the product is not selling well in that certain time. Okay, so we are back to the home screen and we can go into another shelf. Let's just take soap for example, and here we can also see the same thing, and also we can click on any product ID here and we will be displaying the uh, product details page again through that, and we can simply go back to the home screen from that. So the intention of creating this type of web flow was that the supermarkets will have small displays on top of each shelf displaying its own products with prices updating dynamically. Whereas there is this product ID field for those who really want to see each and every detail about a product. They can simply go to the dedicated display and input the product ID and get the detailed info like expiry dates, which are sometimes hard to find on the product. And they can enter this product ID simply by scanning the QR code or the barcode. Another approach can be that the supermarkets can simply host this web app and make it accessible for people over the internet. And then the people can check the availability of products and the dynamic prices from the comfort of their home. This can also give the supermarkets competitive edge in the business. So this was all about our project and we hope to hear from you very soon.